So chapter 6 takes us to yet another area of the Christian life that we don't hear expounded on too much from the pulpit, and that is leisure. Mm-hmm. That time that we can pretty much do our own thing, that nobody is dictating to us, you have to be here and do this thing. Mm-hmm. So I know for you in this chapter, I believe this is accurate. This was a bit of a challenging chapter, mm-hmm. just from a research of the scripture. So how did...
More than a bit.
So how did you approach this chapter? And maybe you can give us some insight as to what you did find when you searched this out.
So why is leisure so difficult? Another word for leisure is free time. And when we are free, our wills, unconstrained, manifest themselves in a way that they cannot when we are constrained by burdens of necessity. And essentially, leisure is setting the human heart free. And it's when we're not being forced to do anything that we find out what we really want. And the world, in their leisure, unsurprisingly, deviate into all kinds of sick engagements and amusements and activities that the Christian now has to meander through in this culture that we're living in. I think that's what makes this chapter so difficult. I do begin by just briefly discussing how much leisure should we have? Like, in a world with so many important things to do, what basis is there to take any leisure at all? Why don't we just work constantly? What's God's view on that? But then following that, I get into leisure activities. And what I try to do is I just shine some scriptural light on the leisure that, for the most part, characterizes this current society. So for a lot of us, that's going to be entertainment. And a lot of our entertainment is film and television and music. And those things are rife with what I would consider spiritually hazardous content. And what made the chapter so difficult to write is every single issue that I stumbled upon was one huge gray area. Violence, sexuality and nudity, comedy, foul language, sports, hobbies. None of them are super clear cut, but in spite of that, I have tried diligently to get to the bottom of them. And that was particularly difficult when it came to the issue of sexuality and nudity on film and television, and in depictions of Christ in film and television. That was a difficult one as well. So I'm interested to see what readers make of those two sections.
Yeah, and for me, I think the key for this whole chapter is understanding that we are the most ourselves when we have leisure time.
Totally.
When we're at work, we have to do certain things. We're being watched over. We're being supervised. But when the time is our own, we get a lot closer to the core of who we are.
Yes.
And the things that we experience and take in and spend our time on can inform us about what our priorities are. And certainly this chapter is not in any way written to be a legalistic kind of a chapter or anything like that. Again, it's providing a biblical foundation for you to work out your own salvation, so to speak, to look at your own life and say, what choices am I making? And are they accomplishing anything of spiritual value?
Leisure is a moral test. And it's a test that we want to pass. And it's a test that I think Jesus passed with flying colors. And I do want to direct the reader towards the way Jesus spent his leisure time and encourage the reader that we spend our leisure time more the way he did.